And we've got crosswords. How is that to do with the crossword?
Because I've got words and sort of cross them.
Okay.
Right, you don't really cross them. But, good. So words. We're playing a game called Words. Word Song. Hello and welcome to Word Song.
And obviously I imagine there'll be some more great music.
But we've got a new feature, haven't we?
Which one's this?
Are we doing, within the Monkey News, the new feature?
Oh, Steve.
I'm excited. You know Monkey News is my favourite feature, so what have you added to it?
Explain it.
Right, well, there's been loads of stuff going on in the past few weeks, right? But for the times when I struggle, when sort of monkeys have had a quiet week, and there isn't that much news going on, right? Come up with this thing. I sort of speak to an expert. I've spoke to him already.
You spoke to an expert?
Yeah.
A monkey expert?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I ask him a question.
Wow.
Right? The feature, it's got a good name. You know, that's the way I work.
Yep.
Cheapest chimps. Right?
Okay.
And what I do, I ask them a question about, you know, how much does it cost to, you know, keep one? How much does it cost to, you know, feed one for a week?
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff. So I give out like a monkey story, and if that isn't enough for people, they'll also learn something else at the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like...
It sounds fascinating, can I say right now?
That's just some of the things that we've come up with.
Carl, I rather like John Harvey Jones, who used to be called in to sort of troubleshoot companies. I see why you are not winning, ever. And it's a rather pricey, contest, isn't it? It costs a tenner to enter per person.
Yeah.
And unless you get in the top three, you're not gonna get to see your money back.
No.
So, I think you're gonna maybe need to step down from the team, because Carl, I'm not sure. I am not sure.
Oh.
You consider yourself a kind of player manager, but frankly, I'm not sure you're providing enough.
Right.
See, this is funny because as bad as I imagine you are, I don't think Steve would make it into my team, so he's getting a bit cocky here. I want to know what your opinion of him, because he's told me he's great on it.
Well, you bang out of order, first of all. Right?
Okay.
Do you have a good night when you're with us?
I tell you what, I wish I hadn't lost a tenner every time I've come down. That would have improved it.
You point out there about the football analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Ferguson, when did he score a goal?
Right.
He doesn't. He tells the others how to do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? That's
He
my
doesn't
role
take
in
up
it.
one of the 11 though, does he?
No, exactly.
It's not like he can only field 10.
Yeah.
Because, we only got 10 again.
Yeah.
I want to be in the 11.
Exactly. He's not running around in midfield,
No,
falling
no.
over.
Yeah, shouting, oh, what have I told you?
Yeah.
No.
Right. I'll admit,
And
right?
there's a limit of 5 players, we should explain that, that's the point.
Yeah, there's only 5 players on the team.
players, so...
Yeah,
so
but it was pretty tricky on Tuesday, though, wasn't it? It was one of the tougher...
Tell everyone the one question you got right.
It was something about,
Well, tell us the answer. The 2 words you had to say to get the answer.
Danny Minogue.
Danny Minogue. That was what you provided, Danny Minogue.
is this valuable?
Well, no, not really, because
1.6?
there was at least 2 of us who also knew the answer.
Oh, well,
We gave him.
he didn't provide anything.
No, exactly. We gave it to Carl. We massaged his ego.
Oh,
but
dear.
I just feel Carl.
do you know what? I feel a bit bad now because I just sort of either had a crushed face. Then.
Can I just tell you right now?
He just can't believe this.
Can I just tell you right now? I think the problem is this. I think there's that precious 5th position that is not being filled at the moment, I think, consistently enough by a decent player, right? You've got a solid team. I'm thinking if you want to remain on the team, you are going to have to pull your finger out and find a 5th member that is going to provide, and I'll tell you where the weaknesses are, I can tell you right now, mate. The weaknesses are natural history and science. Something which Ricky Gervais is scoring on week in, week out on his team.
There is a few...
Now, if he was available for a transfer, we could be fine. But we've got to find someone to fill in that space. Otherwise, I'm either going to quit, or you're going to have to step down. Because I don't think I can be on a team where there is these obvious deficiencies. There are visible deficiencies in the team.
And, you know, the £10.
That's £10. I'm not made of money. That's once a month.
I've seen him depressed for 2 hours when he lost £20 at a casino after
Don't bring
5
it back.
hours
Don't
playing.
bring that back. Don't bring up that again.
Yeah.
That story.
He doesn't like wasting money, Carl. You know that.
What do you think? What's the solution? We've got to think proactively now. We've got to sort this out.
See, there's always other things going on in my mind when I'm in that pub quiz. For me, it's just a little bit of fun.
Sure.
It's a night out. Do you know what I mean? Suzanne enjoys it.
Yeah.
Bit of a get together. We have a chat beforehand.
Yeah.
We have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But there was other things on my mind.
What were you
Carl,
thinking?
I could do that here. I don't have to lose a tenner.
Wait, what were you thinking during the quiz then, when the questions were coming out? What were you thinking of?
Well, what it was, right, just before the quiz started, I had to go to the toilet, right? Because the rule is, right, people who don't go to it, once it starts, phones off, no more toilet. They take it dead serious, don't they, right?
Yeah.
So, I went to the toilet. Now, I'm not being out of order here, it just got me thinking, right? I went to the toilet. The gay fella in there, right?
There was a gay fella in there.
Gay fella in the toilet. Now,
How could you tell?
How did you know?
Just typical, you know, everything about it, right?
Everything about it, right, yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Just
large
imagine-
handlebar moustache, leather cap.
Butt plugs, amyl nitrate. Could I just say that these views do not reflect the views of the management of XFM or me and Steve.
Or most of the people in this country.
Go on, Carl. What's your problem?
Yeah, but this is what I'm worried about, really. But this is why I only got Danny Minogue right. Right? Because this was floating around my mind. Went
She's
to the
a big
toilet.
gay icon,
Now,
isn't she?
going to the toilet, they have like men's cubicle and they have women's cubicle.
Yeah.
Now, without sounding out of order, is it wrong for me to think gay men should have their own little cubicle?
Go in!
They should have their own, well, not cubicle, you mean an actual toilet, I suppose.
When I was at the urinal,
Yeah.
normally, you know, there's a fella there and then you go, alright, and there's no pressure. But I couldn't go. I was thinking, should I wait? If I go into the toilet, it'll look obvious.
Yeah.
I had loads of pressure, and
But
this was
what were
going
you
on.
worried
I'm so
about?
sorry.
What were
I'm
you
so
concerned
sorry,
about?
Viewers. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
it's like, right, listen, when I was a kid, right, and it's alright for you to go into women's toilets when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's a bit cute,
Yeah.
right, as long as you're not, like, over 15 or something, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, I went into a toilet, and women, when they use their little cubicles, they don't shut the door. Some of them just sit down on the toilet,
Yeah.
right, and you see everything, and, no, seriously, that's probably one of the first times I saw, like, a woman.
Yeah.
That, right, and my Auntie Nora when she was staying over.
What happened with your Auntie Nora?
She was, she's into wearing caftans.
Into wearing what?
You know, caftans.
Oh, yeah.
What caftans?
Big, bellowy sort of dresses.
Right.
And, yeah, I used to sit on the floor at home in front of the telly.
Sure.
She was on the chair behind.
Yeah.
She did a bit of a, sort of a Sharon Stone scene.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
There was no underwear.
No.
What age were you?
What was it like?
What age were
It
you?
was like a ripped tennis ball.
I can only assume. I mean, to what point? That's your question, right? If you're intimidated, that's a shame. But you know, most gay men aren't looking at your knob. You know that.
What do you mean?
I can only say that 99.9% of gay men who use a urinal standing next to what they assume is a heterosexual man aren't looking at his knob.
What are they doing then?
They're emptying their bladder.
No, but the thing is,
I can't talk
you're
politics
saying,
for Carl.
you're saying, like, you know, about would you have one toilet for lesbian women and gay fellas, right?
What does that mean? Would it be mixed? Would it just be?
Well,
would it have a man on one? That's heterosexual man. But one little picture of a woman on the other, and then what? What would the little icon be?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman.
Just having a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In pink and dot
But
lines.
you couldn't mix them because then what would happen is you'd get people who are going, oh, I'll play up to this a bit,
What,
Yeah.
pretend to be gay?
and yeah, you know, sort of grow a moustache and shave their head.
And pretend to be a lesbian.
Right. Yeah. So, I see, so you know people pretending to be gay so they could go in and have a look at the lesbians.
Yeah.
Right. So that would mean that we need 4 cubicles now, would we?
Yeah, no, this is fine. 4 cubicles.
So every pub
How
now-
many toilets do we need at
Every
the
pub's
moment?
now got 4 toilets.
Oh, Carl, bisexuals.
Yeah. Now, interesting.
Bisexuals. How many toilets do we need now? Call the council.
Do you use any?
Huh?
No.
No, because they're interested in everything, aren't they?
Because the little bisexual fellow will be looking at your knob.
Right. With them,
Yeah.
what you do, you just have a door, you open it, and there's one urinal there, so you can't get a queue. They have to sort of wait.
I just thought that, well, why can't there just be a thing between the urinals? So no one can look at anyone else's knob.
Wait a
Full
minute. Just to go back to Ricky's point, what stops, even if we've got the toilet for gay men, what stops the gay men who want to have a look at your willy going in the regular toilet and pretending that they're straight.
Most men don't
Who is gonna police this?
wear gay across their
No,
head.
exactly.
They don't have a tattoo. There's no branding yet in the British House where they have to declare.
So we're gonna have to expand this.
What
So we've
do
all got to carry identity
Do you know
cards.
you can see a gay, can you? Coming a mile off. No?
No, I'll just hold it in next time.
No. Can you tell gay men? Do you know a gay man?
I'd say, probably... If you did if you lined some people up
Yeah.
and said, point them out, I reckon I'd get...
But hold on, we're not talking about people dressed in leather with the arse cut out and an handlebar moustache.
Yeah.
We're talking about, the everyday,
No,
non-seen...
of course,
yeah. But I mean, suppose I put you in a room and there was 10 naked men, right?
Yeah.
And, there's 5 gay men and 5 hetero. Could you walk along that line looking at those gay...
Am I naked?
No, you don't have to be naked. Why would you have to be naked?
To catch them out.
It is a bit worrying. I want somebody to put my... Do I have to get gas masks or something?
No, because there are guys out there in Leicester Square today wearing novelty hats. If they don't sort this war out, then no one can.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about it.
You would worry about it.
I would worry about it.
Well, maybe Steve.
Why?
Sort of people who are successful are worrying about it more than other people. Just because, they've got more to lose, haven't they?
Right.
No, do you know what I mean? You see, like, Bruce Willis on the telly saying, oh, it's not good, is it? And it's because he's got a big house and loads of cars. If you live, on a council estate, it's like, well, if it gets bombed, probably doing us all a favour, we'll get nice new blocks of flats to live in and that. It happened with Manchester, with the bomb that happened, and they bombed the Arndale Centre. Did us a favour. Got a nice new Marks and Spencers and that.
So this puts a whole new twist to the argument when people say bombing the world's poorest countries is wrong. Because I remember when the Afghan problem was on, people were saying bombing the world's poorest country is wrong, but it's like home improvement, according to you, then.
Yeah. Because they've got a brand new B&Q, have they, overnight? They're popping down there every Sunday.
Anyway, let's not go on about it, because...
Well, think what you're saying.
Yeah, I know.
My family was killed, but look, a carpet warehouse!
Yeah.
Do you know, I think, people don't want to hear about this today from us. They want to hear, the new features, the songs of phrase.
What song's a phrase?
It's the feature we started last week, where we take clips of songs, we make up a phrase from the show.
I mean, a famous phrase, last week's world famous phrase was, there's this airy Chinese kid, you'll remember.
Yes.
Well, it was called Crosswords last week, but Phil emailed in a good suggestion and said call it Songs of Phrase.
Brilliant. Songs of phrase. Songs of phrase, but perfect.
So
are we still going with Cheapest Chimps?
We're persevering with that, aren't we?
Got some Cheapest Chimps lined up. We'll be doing that before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Great.
Again, who else can say that?
So good. So for the next 2 hours, everyone should just bury their head in the sand, ignore the world's problems, and enjoy features such as Cheapest Chimps and songs of phrase.
And a better cheering break.
Okay, I got to say now, I'm going to sit on the fence, so I'm quite intrigued.
Okay, right. What have you substituted Twix for?
Well, I can't tell you.
Of course you can.
No, I can't, because people have to listen to it and work out.
Alright, let's just hear it. Let's hear it then.
No. They know what, they have to know what the word is, they have to tell what the song is, or the artist.
I prefer just to play it.
No! You've got to tell them what it is, because they might not even know what word they're looking for.
Let's hear him out. Rick, please. Right. Democracy, that's what we're fighting for. Come on.
Right, you turn them up.
Right, okay, I'll put the headphones on. Go on then.
Right. Okay, so hang on, the phrase originally
is you never see an old man eating a Twix.
Right, and we're trying to identify a number of songs which you've used to make up that phrase.
And you email in xfm.co.uk/Ricky with as many as you can get, and whoever gets the most right.
It's so complicated. This is so complicated.
Right, here we go.
I'm baffled by the email address. I couldn't figure that out.
What's the email address again?
xfm.co.uk/Ricky.
Right.
Right.
And there's some link on there, is there?
That you just press and it comes through. Brilliant. That. Right, here we go then, right? And you'll never see an old man
I missed a little bit at the end. Let's hear it again.
Mars, ba ba ba.
Let's hear it again.
And you'll never see an old man
Oh no.
Oh God. Okay. Right, we'd say the prizes, Steve.
Right, so how many songs were there? Do we know?
I think it was 6.
You think there was 6?
And you'll never see an old man eat. Oh, it might be 5.
5 or 6.
Carl.
Thoughts?
I just was working out time really. We've got last week we had a lot of stuff that we didn't manage to cram in,
Which was good.
so I'm just looking at we have got Cheap as Chimps coming. Songs of Phrase.
Oh, we
Another
haven't
chance to
forgotten
win
about
some
that.
stuff.
Why don't we kick off with that so we don't forget it?
What?
Cheap as Chimps or Songs of Phrase or the film thing. We
We'll
didn't
do
get the
that in a
film
bit.
done. Yes,
We've also got a new feature, Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Incidentally, I should just point out now that someone has, Ashley Phillips has emailed in, because obviously with Songs of Phrase, what Carl does, for those that have not heard it, he takes a phrase that you might hear commonly on the show, and then he uses various
There's this
songs.
hairy Chinese kid.
Was the one
You
that
never
kicked off
seen
with-
an old bloke eating a Mars bar.
And, as I say, he uses different chunks of songs, and he makes up that phrase. And, so he has made some suggestions here, Carl, because he thinks that the more common Carl, you're an idiot, fool, etc., perhaps a little overheard, he'd like to, maybe hear Carl, pause, I don't know where to start, which is a common one from Ricky. Carl, which bit of that do you actually think is true? And then there's the regular dialogue between the three of us. Carl, well, you know, it could happen. Me, sure. Ricky, no, Carl, it could never happen. Not now, not ever. You're an idiot, play a record. So maybe some of those you could use
A lot of
next
songs
time.
there. Well, will we get it going then for
Alright.
today?
Yeah.
This week we're. Do you remember the story about my auntie having wind for 5 minutes? Yeah.
Your auntie, was it your auntie Nora?
Auntie Nora, she was on a lot of medication and stuff, and I think that's a side effect that comes with it. So, yeah, she had wind for 5 minutes, so I thought we'd dig that one out. A classic line, me auntie had wind for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I've got loads of songs here.
How many is that?
Me auntie had wind for 5 minutes. 7 tracks.
Oh,
That's tricky.
got
why do
7.
you learn?
Okay, so you need to identify, if you can be bothered, the artists.
Yeah, we'll
That's
do
what we're
the
after, isn't it?
Alright.
Okay. Let's
Alright, we'll play it a few times.
Just remember, as many as you can get, because the
Yeah.
winner would probably be, you know, who gets 5 or something. So don't worry if there's a couple you can't get, because you could still probably win.
Here we go
on.
again.
It is good. Can I just, what's the email address?
It's, well, if they go to xfm.co.uk/Ricky, they can just send them through there and
I can
that.
send it through that way. Which of these is the prize bag?
Yeah, don't be getting mixed up.
That's the one, is it, Carl? Yeah. Alright, so let's see what hot treats you could win. As I get them out, Carl, do you want to play it once more?
Yep.
I recognise all of them except one.
Yeah.
Right, let me
Or
see what
maybe
we've got
2.
here. Once again, Carl, you excelled yourself with an arbitrary collection of DVDs.
Just hanging around, were they?
Just hanging around. Again, I'm always interested to know which of our XFM listeners has tastes as broad as this.
Go on.
We've got the recent BBC adaptation of The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Brilliant.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
We've
all
got, what's this? Is this this is something involving Air, the band Air. I think it's a single at best.
Yeah.
This is probably worth having. This is the current Flaming Lips album, so you've excelled yourself there actually, Carl. That's not bad. An XFM mouse mat. They're as common as muck.
Oh, hold on. You can't give away that mouse mat. It's a piece of foam.
Now, I was going to dismiss the oddball sci-fi movie K-Pax, featuring Kevin Spacey and Jeff Bridges, but Carl, is it
It's
signed by Kevin
It's
Spacey?
signed, yeah. It's an actual. So win that and put it on eBay for £4.50.
And, man alive.
What is that?
Just look at their faces.
No, Carl! Don't give that. No one wants that unless it's ironic.
Series 1 and 2 on DVD of popular northern-based sitcom Bread.
Buy it, sell it. The game's getting hard because someone's dealing you a losing card.
Alright.
They all had a go. All the actors had a line on that song. Oh,
Play the clips again.
play the clips again. I really want to win it now.
Here we go.
I can't believe this hasn't been done before.
It's extraordinary.
Alright.
Because most of our ideas have.
Do you know what I don't get with it?
Go on.
Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown, because I always walk through it on the way to work. A couple of things annoy me. First of all, I think it's bad business, just because if you've got a Chinese restaurant, put it somewhere where there isn't any others.
It's a good point.
Yeah, but it's also a community. They're not just a theme park for other people.
I remember going out one night with Suzanne and some friends, and you got there and there's so much choice. It's that dilemma of, oh, forget it.
Well,
And
not
we went
really.
somewhere
Specifically,
else.
do you fancy Chinese?
Well, no, but
No,
why don't you go to the one with the dead ducks hanging in the window? That's my
That's the
favourite.
other thing as well. It's like, normally you put your good stuff in the window. If that's what's in the window. Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that annoys me, walking through it today, there's always lard on the floor.
What, in the street?
In the streets.
It is, honestly. I'm scared I'm going to slip over. It's because all the restaurants and that. But why is it? Oh, that's another point.
Well, it's not oozing out of the restaurants.
No, but why is it? Why is
I
it?
don't know what they do.
Careful. Listen, no, but why is
That's why they used to wear those little wooden shoes.
it? No, okay, we've
No,
got...
but the thing is as well, they try and wash it with water, which doesn't work with lard, and it's like oil.
Famously, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even I know that.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
scrub it.
So,
You think
sorted that out.
Yeah.
You think they'd know, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, thanks for your thoughts on Chinatown, Carl.
Right, I'm going to play this thing again, because it is a bit slow today, the email.
Oh, because it's too hard.
It's not too hard, there's just clips of songs. What are the artists? Email in. xfm.co.uk.
He's getting annoyed because he put the work in and
Well-
no one... He's getting annoyed!
You know the biggest complaint ever on TV, the most complaints ever for anything on TV, was the showing of The Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
Do you know the second? Yeah, the second was I think Anne Robinson, put in the Welsh into room 101.
What, because she didn't like him and that?
Yeah, she just said, well, they're going in the,
She said it slightly more eloquently than that.
Yes, yeah.
I can the people or the place?
I don't know.
I think it was the place and therefore the people.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
No, well, you know, my mum and dad have sort of, moved from Manchester, they've retired now in Wales.
Oh, yeah.
And it is,
Look at his face, turning his nose up.
no, but it is pretty depressing. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them places that, it's like you go back in time and that when you go there. I mean, maybe the major cities there, maybe Cardiff is alright.
What, even coming from Manchester, it's like going back in time?
It's just, it's like one of them places that it feels like every day is Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's just depressing and grey and slate
Lots of
everywhere.
lickers walking around going, I'm late.
Well, yeah, it is the sort of attitude they have, right? This is true, because my mum and dad live there and that, right? And they love it, it's alright, it's an healthy place to go when you get older and that. But, this is why they don't move on in Wales.
Well, I'd just like to make another...
No.
Sorry to any Welsh people listening, we're not saying you don't move on. Carl is.
No, but...
Sorry about the little Chinese shoes
The
again as
thing
well.
is, it's good that, in a way, that they do that, and they don't want to be, like, you know, rushing about everywhere, because the way London isn't that great either, is it? Because it's totally opposite here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not having a go. It is a bit dull. I think even people who live there will agree with me.
Okay.
Right? But, like, one of the shops that my mum and dad use, right, it's only a little sort of villagey type shop, they can't be bothered staying open for hours and hours, right? Because there's not enough people use the shop.
Yeah.
So what you do is, they get used to what you buy, and
They leave it out.
they put it in a phone box outside.
They put it in a phone box.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get wet.
So my dad's loving that.
Well,
Once he
yeah.
found that out, it was like, brilliant.
But how is that a bad thing? That's brilliant.
Well, it's not for other people, it is for my dad, because he's picking up all sorts of stuff.
Oh
Chickens.
no, he's not!
Oh, yeah.
He's not nicking other people's shopping.
Well, it's not like nicking, is it? Because it's not theirs yet.
Oh! And you've stitched him up on radio.
Well, of course, because they're going to think, who's that? Who is there in town with a Manc accent?
Who
hangs around a lot, yeah.
keeps making phone calls. And is getting fatter.
Yeah.
That's
You stitched him
I
right
love
up
that.
there,
I
Carl.
love that your dad was excited when he found out.
I can't believe that he's moved there. He's retired to this little village where it's based on trust and community, and he is abusing it. He's using his scally Manc ways.
Bloody hell, Lakers. There's no bread again.
There's old women
Was
going
empty.
hungry. Their cats aren't getting fed, and your father is just... I can't... That's obscene. That's obscene.
Oh, I think it's Day Thief. That fella from Manchester.
I don't even think they've got Sky there yet, have they? They can't listen. They won't know what's...
I think you stitched him right up. I hope you have, actually. I hope he goes down for it. I hope he's hounded out of the community like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
They should get burning torches, go up to the
set fire to his cottage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, well...
He's out of the choir.
Yeah. Myth, a lot of people think, for some reason, that you're fat. A lot of people say to me, is he fat?
No, but that's because I haven't got much hair, so it looks like my head's big.
No, they haven't even seen you. They just think, from listening to the show, that you're fat.
That's because you're northern. They think you just eat chips and complain about the weather.
Well...
Complain about the south.
I just think you could answer a lot of your critics.
But then, you see, what I don't like about this world, a lot of people judge people on the way they look.
Yeah.
Oh,
like you do.
If only more people thought like that, Steve.
But Carl, you judge people on the way they look.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean, but I couldn't with me, could I? Because I don't know what I look like.
What?
If I was listening to me on the radio, I wouldn't be able to say, oh, he's a, you know, and slag me off and that, because I don't know what I look like. And I quite like that. Do you know what I mean?
I've lost.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just believe me, right? I'm right on this one. It's best if you leave it.
Well, we're not going to leave it. We're going to get you on the poster.
Yeah.
I mainly have to see myself on videotape this morning.
I showed him, you know, the animal show I did, the show.
Yes.
I'm doing a video, and I did behind the scenes footage, and I've got you've seen it, haven't you?
I feel a little bit of Carl on there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's lovely. He can't believe it. He said, is it playing slow? Because he's so slow, and I come into the office going, alright. That's how you
talk.
talk.
My head as well. I look like I'm looking into a spoon. I'm not happy with it.
I just think that if we're willing if Ricky's willing to use his celebrity profile for the sake of the show, I'm willing to look like a, you know, let's say a fairly handsome, kind of cool customer. I think at least, the very least, Carl, is that you appear on there as well. You could dress up smart.
Are you worried that you'll look the worst out of all three of us?
Who am I standing next to? Am I next to Steve? I'm fairly confident.
Yeah.
I like the way it's so predictable. You pull the string because you know what it is. It's
you pull the string.
Oh, what were we talking about before? You know the most complaints ever, the Last Temptation of Christ.
I haven't seen it.
What's it? It's Scorsese, isn't it?
It's Martin Scorsese, and I've bought the film actually recently because I was intrigued to see it, but I've not actually watched it. But from what I understand, the reason that it was so outrageous is because it has a whole sequence which shows what it would be like if Jesus had lived his life and not martyred himself on the cross, but lived his life as a human being. Part of which is him having sex. And so I think that was chiefly what the outrage was, that it was showing this godly man to be, you know, as human as he was supposedly. You know, because he's supposed to be human as well. So, so that's the reason. That was the reason that there was complaints there. I don't know. I haven't seen the film.
Well,
I can't say.
You see him, do you?
You see him having sex, I think. Yes.
Although it is an actor, Carl.
Yeah, it's not actually Jesus Christ.
It's not the real Robert Powell. It's an actor playing Robert Powell.
Is that, you see, sex on films and all that, right? When I was growing up, I'd be watching. No, just saying an example of this, really, right? When I was growing up as a kid, and I'd be, you know, watching films with my dad, right? He'd really be enjoying a film, right? And then a sex scene would happen.
Right.
And he'd go...
On film? Or just behind you?
In the film, a sex scene would happen.
Your brother up to his old tricks again.
And he'd get up and go make a cup of tea. Right?
Right.
Typhoon? That he'd stolen from some sort of telephone box?
And, like, even recently, he thinks it ruins a film. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no need for it to happen, is there? Really?
Yes.
Why?
Sometimes it's warranted. If the film itself is
there's some films it isn't though. Some films it isn't.
Of course, some films it's arbitrary.
I think the films that him and his dad watched together on Channel 5. Yeah. Probably not. Is it only on Channel 5 in your house?
But let's put it, if you're watching, you know, I don't know, a late night Friday night, you know,
from 1983.
Yeah. Illegal Briefs. A beautiful lawyer has to defend a man who may be a killer. She falls in love with him, but does she know the real man?
Oh dear.
You know what I mean, though.
Lest you forget, of course, that I,
Love Heat. With the bloke that is now in... Go on.
You know, of course, that I, according to the Internet Movie Database, I once appeared in one of those films, in the film Killer Image, a Canadian film, I believe, from 1989. According to that computer...
It's all wrong, isn't it?
It's all wrong.
It's all wrong.
Of course it is, yeah. Apparently I was in that, and I played the role of Kirk.
Was it a porn thing?
No, I think it's just an erotic thriller.
Oh, right.
That I suppose
You only had a very small part, though, didn't you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need to go that far. Say, like in this Jesus programme, right?
Film.
What's it called?
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Just like talking. You know what? What's his name? Is it Ralph in The Simpsons?
Yes.
I drawed a kitty cat. It's like talking to that.
Yeah.
No, but right, this temptation thing, right?
Do you know, often we don't get that many complaints on this show. We don't get very many complaints. And I think that's either because there's no listeners, or B, it's because most people agree with Karl, and that terrifies me.
Or they let him off, because it's like, you know, you can plead insanity, you can go mental and kill a few people, but they go, oh, he's a bit backward.
No, but was it because, like, they're saying that he was having it away? Or is it because you saw it? What got the complaints?
The complaint was the very suggestion.
It was a blasphemous thing, not the fact that you saw an actor's knob.
So what about if they just cut it down a bit and you like saw the little stable door closing?
It wasn't the baby Jesus having sex. It was the grown man.
The stable door shutting.
No, but you know
It's
what
the
they do?
nativity scene.
That is brilliant.
then
The wise men saying, I can't believe we brought myrrh, we should have brought condoms.
No, yeah. There's 2 for 1 offering, Boots.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking. Frankincense.
It's just that it's always awful.
Should we apologise now to the Christian church as well? So it's the little Chinese fellas, little Welsh fellas, and the little Christian fellas.
We haven't said anything wrong.
No.
It's like, you see, when I was growing up...
Stable door. I love the idea that in Karl's world, he was born in a stable, just thought, well, I love this place.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay here the rest of my days.
This is good here. Oh, brilliant.
But when I was watching telly with my mum and dad, I mean, it still happens now, right? My dad will sort of go, oh, ruined. Good film ruined. Right, if some sex scene happens.
But why doesn't he
But
just
what are we
ignore
talking
it?
about sex scene? Are we talking about kissing, or are we talking about penetration and looking at the camera? Going, are you enjoying this, Pilkingtons? What are we talking about? What is sort of extreme levels are we talking about?
Right, last time I was down there, right?
Yeah.
What was it? Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black is a terrible film.
Yeah.
Right. There was a good film, and then you know it's going to happen because like the music comes in. Brad Pitt's keeping quiet. A woman's eyeing him up.
Sure.
So my mum, my mum's worked it out already, and she's going. Anything on the other side, love?
She knows. She knows.
It's something's.
Well, so you could be enjoying a film and you can be an hour and 10 in, and then some spidey senses of one of them can go, should we turn it over? And the other one goes, yeah, all right.
Are you sure it's not them protecting you from scenes of sex? So that what they're thinking is, what if Karl gets the idea to have sex?
Yeah.
That could lead to procreation. We don't want any more like him.
Yeah.
We've got to end the line here.
You sure it's not the doctor? Keep calling out going, you are keeping away from
exactly.
women, aren't you?
He must never find out.
Are you
how
sure
it's
they're not
done.
embarrassed because they're watching a sex scene with their son?
It happens every time, right? There's 2 things that my mum does, right? It's that, if there's a sex scene on the telly, she'll go, anything on the other side, love? And the other thing she always says, if ever there's anything on the telly with Elvis in it, she goes, oh, I like him, right? And we all know, we sat there, we know what she's going to say next.
Yeah.
So you don't even bother saying why, right? And she goes, he likes fat, ugly people.
He what?
He liked fat, ugly people. He didn't always go for, like, the good-looking fans in the crowd.
What Elvis did?
Yeah.
Right.
That was always the thing, and
I'm sorry, no, hold on. I don't know what we're doing now with our lives, Steve. Right, wait a minute, right. So, your mum says 2 things, right? She either says...
Is there anything else on the other side?
Or, I like Elvis. There's a pause, because you know what she's going to say next. She says, he liked fat, ugly people. How often does this occur?
Well, because they've got, like, Sky, there's a lot of those channels on. They're like the music channels. So Elvis always comes on. There's either an Elvis film, there's, like, a classic hit by him on...
And she'll go, I like Elvis, he likes fat, ugly people. And what do you mean he liked fat, ugly people?
Is she a fat, ugly person?
Because there's that special Vegas show, isn't he, where he's dancing about, right? And he's got loads of scarves around his neck.
Towels.
Yeah. And, like, he always hands them down to the fat, ugly ones. Right. And I always say it's because they're the fat, they've got a sweaty face because they can't, you know what I mean?
I don't know what world they live in!
I don't know how we've gone to this subject.
What sort of world are you got when you're watching...
And what do you mean fat, ugly ones? You mean they're in the front, they're sweating a lot because they're a bit
Yeah,
chubby?
so she thinks, you know, it's giving them a towel because it's
But
like...
he's really going, wipe your face, you're putting me off, you
Yeah.
fat cow. Stop sweating near me.
There's another one.
What?
So, hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We haven't slagged off hairy Chinese kids. We slagged off Chinese. We didn't slag anyone off. We just said they really haven't got a town as such, and they wear shoes. What did we say?
Yeah, little wooden shoes.
Funny thing is, Steve, right, I was walking down Regent Street on Monday, walked past one of these big stores, right, and they've got all famous quotes on the windows, right,
Yeah.
and one of them was something like, an absurd idea is often a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you know who said that?
Go on.
Einstein.
Yes.
Which made me wonder, if you were his mate, would he ever have done E equals MC squared? Or would you have said, don't bother with that, it's not going to work? Because that's all you seem to do, everything I come up with,
Yeah.
you put down.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. He's negative, right? I don't know why. I don't
Okay.
know why he is. What else?
He messes me about, I get him concert tickets for stuff, and you say, oh, I didn't bother going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is annoying.
You come in, you know, 5 minutes to go with tracks that need editing.
Yeah. The little bag, that bag that was free.
Yeah, you got a free bag today, an
Yeah.
XFM little rucksack thing.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, what's this rubbish?
Yeah.
Ricky said, I'll have it, they're great. You said, no, I want it.
Yeah.
Well, it was
So-
free. I need it. I'll give that as a
What
gift or
else?
something.
So, I mean, I think on reflection, Steve is probably a little bit more annoying than me.
I won't go that far. You are annoying. If I had to go away for a week somewhere,
Yeah.
if it was a quiet place,
Well, you
and-
are again, aren't you? That's 2 holidays you had this week. This year, I mean.
if it was a busy place, I'd probably go with you, because people, do you know what I mean, staring at me all the time and that if I'm walking around with Steve. Remember the story I told you ages ago about my neighbour having a horse in their house?
Oh, yeah.
Having a horse. Yeah, a horse. yeah.
What's happened with that? Lenny Henry doing it as a series.
So,
And people nicking your ideas left, right and centre.
well, that's the phrase we'll be using anyway.
What?
My neighbour had a horse in her house.
How many words is that?
6.
My neighbour had... So, there's no grammar either. My neighbour had horse in the house. My neighbour had horse in house. What is the phrase?
My neighbour had a horse in her house.
Are there any
Let's wait till we
prepositions?
hear
Are
it.
there any prepositions in this sentence?
Look, don't judge it beforehand. You see, I'm
Okay.
turning over a new leaf. I think this is a great idea. I think Carl's a genius, and I look forward to hearing this enormously.
Yeah, okay, and I won't be sick on your leg, or squeeze your head, or make you jump when you're making a cup of tea.
Just looking through the Guinness
That is
Book of
still the
Records.
funniest thing, isn't it? Squeaking at someone when they got a cup of tea. Right.
There are a lot of what strike me as seemingly pointless feats.
The
And
Guinness Book of
records.
Records is right. The Guinness Book of Records is great. I used to love it as a kid. I've had about 10 copies in my life. The last one I bought a couple of years ago at present. It was really good. I love it. I love the real records: tallest, fattest, thinnest, best, fastest, most expensive, biggest, and all that. But the ones that really annoy me are the ones that. The reason these people are in there for it are the only people that tried.
What, yeah.
Balancing the milk bottle on your head.
Most watches eaten. I just found that one. Kim Sung-do from South Korea ate 5 watches, the entire watch with the exception of the wristband, in a time of 1 hour 34 minutes. What do you make of that, Carl?
Made him regular. Come on.
How did they time him?
Most live rattlesnakes held in the mouth. 8 live rattlesnakes held by, it just says an idiot.
Yeah, this gives me an idea, Carl.
Talking of idiots.
Do you want to get into Guinness Book of Records?
No,
Carl, come on,
Come
that'd
on.
be brilliant.
Well, there's things in there that are just absolutely anyone could do. Like that one in Big Brother, I was watching it, and it was balancing sugar lumps. I want to know how many people try that. If there's schools around Britain going, listen, we've got to get in the sugar lump award. It's grassroots level. There's not enough kids balancing sugar lumps. How can we compete in the world market?
I was looking at it last night, and there was one about the farthest that a dog swam. I think it was something like 9 miles, but it had no choice, did it? You know what I mean? He took it out to the Atlantic or something, and so it didn't want to do
Throw it in the water.
it. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not alright to put it in a bin bag and chuck it in a canal,
No.
but it's for a world record.
Yeah.
9 miles it did.
Oh God.
Possible ones that you could do, Carl.
What's the most Forrest Gumps fitted in one wheelie bin?
What about this one for you, Carl? The record stands at the moment for most arrows caught by hand, but But that's quite tricky. So what about most arrows caught by head?
Yeah.
And you would just fire arrows at your head?
They wouldn't, it would just skim off him.
Do you think so?
Yeah, the roundness, it would never actually get any sort of, you know, connection.
Fastest human crab? Could you do that?
I'll do that.
Can you form the crab?
Can you do that?
What's that?
It's just like go bending over backwards
No, I
and
can't
running.
do that.
No?
Got a bad
Right,
back.
what about,
What would you be good at?
what about hamburger stuffing?
Oh,
Alright.
right, Carl. Alright. In the mouth, you mean?
Well, it says the record for stuffing the most regulation-sized hamburgers, including buns, in the mouth at one time is how many? How many hamburgers with buns in the mouth?
This is just...
You're not swallowing anything, you've just got stuffing in your
Carl,
mouth.
you'd be so good at this because your shape of your head. You've got a shape, his head's just like Hamburglar. You'd be good at this, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, you'd be perfect. You look like Zippy.
And the great thing is your head's empty, so you could get more in there. Do you know what I mean? This guy had a brain to contend with.
Do that. What is it? Is it possible? Is it
Well,
mental?
how many do you think it was? There were
I don't
3
know.
burgers in buns. What do you reckon, Carl?
What, how quick he ate them?
He didn't eat them, it's just how many he can stuff in his face. So literally hold them within his cheeks and his mouth, but don't swallow anything.
So what, how many burgers?
How many burgers did he manage to get into his face?
So it's a fella, he's not
Yes?
about 5?
No, 3. It's the
3?
world record. 3 is
How
the world
big are
record.
they, though?
It just says regulation size.
So we could go to McDonald's or Burger King and get just hamburgers, and that would count.
just the regular burgers, and we'll just stuff
They won't
them in
count.
there.
We got to get Norris McWhirter.
Well, but we could practice it now, and then if you're triumphant,
Come
if you
on,
get 4
Carl.
in there.
I don't, you know, I've got a small throat and that.
Well, you don't
I
have
used
to swallow
choke
them, that's
a
the
lot.
great thing.
Yeah, but I don't like it. As a kid, I'd choking on stuff and I get funny about it.
Well, just to keep your tongue at the back of your mouth, and we'll stuff the hamburgers in.
No, I don't.
Oh, come on! Do something!
Carl, that is Dynamite Radio.
Well, Steve will go and get the hamburgers.
Have I got to pay for them?
No, Carl, give us
I'm
the
not
money.
paying for
Oh,
them. I've
come
just
on!
spent 25 quid in total on a video on a Guinness Book of Records. That's costing me another 4 quid. I'm not doing it.
Oh, come on, come on, give us the money. You're paying back. Andrew,
oh,
come on!
I'm not doing it.
Come on, do it. It's an interesting thing. Come on.
You could be in the Guinness Book of Records, Carl.
No, leave it.
See if we can. Oh, please. Phone in if you want Carl
No,
to eat burgers. You don't have to swallow them. You can spit it all out. You can be sick on my leg after. Oh, come on.
no, 'cause I don't like the stretching thing either.
Don't stretch it. You
It
can
will stretch. I'll be like the little bloody dog on the Winston Churchill ad.